Our brains are filled with billions of neurons, constantly firing and moving around information 24/7. In fact, hearing is our fastest sense. Sound waves are processed and understood in 0.05 seconds. That's 10 times faster than the blink of an eye. And yet, we barely even notice it. So just how does the brain make sense of the sounds that make up the world around us? Let's start with some basic anatomy of the ear.
When a noise reaches your ear, the sound waves enter through the ear canal and beat against the tympanic membrane or eardrum.
Yeah, your eardrum is a real drum.
These physical vibrations are then transformed into fluid ripples as the ossicle bones connected to the eardrum push against the oval window on the cochlea. Inside this hearing organ are hair cells with hair-like structures called stereocilia that are pushed back and forth with the ripples of the fluid. These hairs move around at specific frequencies within the hearing range for humans. Higher frequencies up to 20,000 Hz at the base, and lower frequencies around 20 Hz at the apex.
Now here's where the neuroscience begins.
When the hairs move, they send signals to the auditory nerve fibers, which connect the cochlea to the brain. The signals then travel along the primary auditory pathway, synapsing at each stop to hand off the signal to other neurons, much like an assembly line. Along the way from the cochlear nuclei to the primary auditory cortex, signals from the auditory nerves are unpacked and processed to understand its location, frequency, and pitch. With two cochlear nuclei receiving information from their corresponding ear, your brain actually compares the information to precisely comprehend our surroundings and produce a reaction.
In the case of talking with a friend, processed auditory information is sent to other parts of the brain, such as the superior temporal gyrus, to recognize spoken word.
When listening to your friend speak, your brain is searching for more general acoustic features of sounds, instead of looking for the specific sound of a B or W.
The information of basic sound features, such as plosives, sounds which restrict airflow, such as k or t, and fricatives, sounds which partially obstruct airflow, such as s, are stored in the brain to be quickly identified. Our brains organize defining features of speech systematically so they can be recognized with ease. As for music, our brains process it in a slightly different way. Ever had a song stuck in your head? You memorize each lyric word for word, but with speech you normally only remember the gist of it.
This is because music activates areas all over your brain, linking the sound with memory, meaning, and most importantly, emotion. Like a normal sound, the information makes its way to the primary auditory cortex, but then goes on to the emotional part of our brain, the limbic system.
The feelings we get from listening to bops and love songs are attached to their complex, pitch, tempo, and rhythm, which is why jingles and our favorite songs get stuck on repeat. The human brain is pretty phenomenal, being able to perform these synapses simultaneously without even the bat of an eye. But even with today's modern technology, much of the processing and recognition that goes on inside our brains has yet to be understood. Research for why we process language the way we do is advancing day by day. Let's see what the future holds for auditory neuroscience.